Hey Marvel fans, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Name and this is The Nerdy Lair. And today we have some very interesting and exciting news coming out about Captain America New World Order and the Thunderbolts. So in this video, I really want to go over a lot of the leaks, rumors, and speculation that have been coming out for these projects, but I also want to talk about what these projects will truly mean for the MCU and why they are so damn important for the future of Marvel going forward. And why I think these projects and others will show that the MCU is changing and we are returning to form pretty soon. So starting off, I want to talk about Captain America New World Order and why I think the hype level for this movie should be through the roof. So first off, we recently got set photos showing Anthony Mackie, Liv Tyler, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Harrison Ford. But to me, what was really interesting was it seems like there was a funeral scene being shot. Now, to me personally, I think this is either a funeral for Anthony Mackie's team that's supposedly going to be in the movie. They're going to be like a B Avengers team. But I think the other option is that the president that I think is going to die in Secret Invasion, this could be his funeral. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the opening scene. But some are even speculating that they could kill Red Hulk in this movie, which I think is highly unlikely because he's literally supposed to be in the Thunderbolts movie, which is the next movie after Captain America New World Order. And it said that he's going to become president, so I don't know if they'd make him president and kill him in a movie where they're probably going to have a funeral for the other president they just killed. Like, it doesn't really make any sense. But that aside, I think it's really good to see these set photos and to really start building that anticipation for the film. Because based on these leaks, I think we are truly in for just a great Marvel movie, just a great Marvel experience, and something that kind of reminds us of like phase 2, phase 3 Marvel. But actually getting into these leaks, I think we all know Harrison Ford is coming in to be Thunderbolt Ross in the MCU, like it's official. And I think most believe he will also be Red Hulk at some point. We don't know when, but at some point. I think they're going to try to hide it like they did in the comics. But the other rumors for this movie that aren't as popular as a Red Hulk Harrison Ford, but are equally as crazy and intriguing in my opinion, would be things like Tiamat Island and how not only it's going to be introducing Adamantium, but it is said that we will be having multiple teams in New World Order vying for that Adamantium. And this would include Val and her team as well as Sam and his team and Thunderbolt Ross and his team. I guess Val and Thunderbolt Ross could be working together. Maybe they team up at the end of this movie for New World Order. But needless to say, it's really cool to have these multiple teams fighting and vying for one of the most popular and iconic things in Marvel Comics, period. And it is said we will also have other nations and countries also trying to get the Adamantium, and this will actually spill over into the Thunderbolts movie, where they are also going to be trying to get this Adamantium. And to me, this is big for a multitude of reasons. Not only do I think it's a great plot device for the MCU and something to keep us hooked and engaged for these ground level stories, also this is a gateway to Wolverine. Like, who else is this a point to other than Wolverine? Like, Wolverine and Adamantium go together like peanut butter and jelly. Like, when you think Adamantium, you think Wolverine. And having Adamantium be like one of the key plot devices for multiple MCU projects, I think is kind of the clearest point to Wolverine you could have. Now, I don't know how I would feel if Wolverine isn't alive already. Like, he's not a thing yet. Like, he becomes a thing in 2023. I really don't know how I feel about that because there are mutants even older than him that I don't think you can change their backstory like that. But for now, I think that's really fun, and I think potentially a very cool way to introduce maybe the most famous mutant of all time. But also, there's a really old rumor that came out around She-Hulk that kind of died down because of the finale and just the overall reception of She-Hulk. But it was said that this movie was going to have multiple Hulks and potentially multiple colored Hulks, and using Jennifer Walters' blood to do it. Now, when I hear these things and also the rumor of Thundra, you know what this points to? Fall of the Hulks. And when they like introduced Red Hulk in the comics, like if you remember, Thundra was one of his like associates. Like, she was one of his like basically part of his team when they were trying to hunt down and kill Domino because she found out who Red Hulk was. And I really do think that's still true. They might have tweaked it and changed it a little bit, but I still think this movie is going to be a Captain America / Hulk movie, where it's going to have a lot of Hulk elements, like the leader's one of the villains, and the Intelligentsia, which was also villains in the Red Hulk like comic run. And you're obviously also going to have Red Hulk himself. You're probably going to have She-Hulk, and you might even potentially get like Hulked out heroes, which also happened around the same time in the comics. But you're also going to have Captain America Sam Wilson, and it's going to be a Captain America movie. And you're going to have those like political thriller elements like that are in like Winter Soldier and a little bit in Civil War. And I think these combos, this hybrid, could be really fun and cool and could lead to like a phenomenal Marvel movie. that like everybody is gushing about and loves. And just imagine a world if they bring back Savage Hulk, because they kind of do this in the comics a lot where they depower him and bring him back. And they could do their own version of that like comic event where you have Red Hulk versus Hulk. And I mean, that is the type of stuff as a Marvel fan you dream of, especially right now where the MCU is currently with the fan reception. And I think this movie has a wealth of possibilities that could really shock and kind of regalvanize the fan base leading into Thunderbolts and then leading into like what, Spider-Man 4 and then a Deadpool 3. It could just build the perfect type of momentum for the MCU right when they need it most. And I think that really bodes well for Marvel, but more importantly, bringing that same energy, maybe in a different vibe and tone, into the Thunderbolts and continuing that train will be the best thing for Marvel. And it's something that has been missing from the MCU for a while. And the leaks for this movie only build credence to that, in my opinion, because we're talking the Sentry and the Void versus the Thunderbolts team that will be led by Bucky and will have people like Yelena, Red Guardian, US Agent, and potentially Ghost, but some rumors say otherwise. And they will be working for Val and Thunderbolt Ross. And oh yeah, Zemo is said to be a part of it in some fashion, just not on the team. Wonder what he's going to be up to. And it could be cool depending on how they play it. And on top of that, like on top of all of that greatness, you have the fact that they'll be traveling to Tiamat Island for Adamantium, like I said earlier, which is amazing. And with this kind of star-studded cast and all of these cool comic book elements that also connect heavily with other projects like New World Order, to me, this is just what the Doctor ordered for us MCU fans. Like, there are even rumors about the Thunderbolts potentially traveling to the Savage Land. But all that aside, just by having Sentry and the Void as well as Adamantium and the Thunderbolts team, I think that's enough right there to build an amazing movie that has potentially like a Suicide Squad vibe, but also a Winter Soldier vibe, and that could end up being very fun and refreshing for us MCU fans. And based on all these rumors and the fact they just hired a new writer because the old ones wanted to make Black Widow 2 essentially, and the fact that new writer Lee Sung-jin seems to have a better suited vibe for Thunderbolts, and he also worked with the director Jake Schreier, I think is how you say it, on the previous project they both did, which is Netflix's Beef, which looks pretty good from what I've seen actually, and especially for the Thunderbolts vibe, which could be really gritty but a fun and exciting project, like fun but gritty. And I think this change really is a signal to us fans that Marvel is changing and fixing issues we've had since basically Endgame, but really most severely since around Love and Thunder and the She-Hulk era. But I personally think that 2024 may be the best year of Marvel content ever, like period, and really could snatch that MCU hype and excitement right back and put Marvel back on top right in time for the two biggest Marvel projects ever in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. So with all that said, if you agree or disagree, leave your opinions down below. Peace out.